Hello everybody, Pastry Time back here again. I missed my vlog yesterday, which is really bad, but I'm going to do it again. It is Monday the 12th of June. Actually, that would be Tuesday. It was Monday the 11th of June. It is now early on Tuesday morning. It is Tuesday the 12th of June, 12:13 AM. Again, I was supposed to do my vlog yesterday on Sunday, and I'm doing it today instead because I forgot to do it yesterday. I apologize. I haven't created... Something is strange is happening over there. I haven't done content for ages, and I'm not used to regularly doing stuff, but I'm going to try and keep up with this and make sure I can get it all done. And that's good. So this weekend was MLG Anaheim. If you haven't watched the games, go ahead and watch them because they're awesome. Oh no, that's fine. Go ahead and watch them because they're awesome. And spoiler alert, TSM won. So they beat CLG NA, who played really well despite having a sub, and given the fact that Hotshot was recently playing in his jungle role, so it was a pretty impressive run by them. It was awesome to watch actually. The time zones are really good for Australia, so I had no problem there checking that out. In time, I think it was on at about 2 PM or something, so I pretty much woke up and then I watched the finals, and I watched a bit yesterday as well. I watched a bit on Monday yesterday, and I watched a bit on Sunday as well for the Saturday games, which was cool. They're going pretty late, but it was nice to see. Insane turnout for League of Legends, like the amount of teams that went, and just in general the tournament's great. MLG always runs such a great event, and I know the players probably hate this, but they always run long events too. Like their losers brackets are really long, and they always run the continuation rules is cool too. So you always get to see a ton of games. I actually saw the full 6 games from CLG and TSM in the final, which is the most you could have. So that was pretty cool to watch all those. If you haven't seen them, go check them out. I think they're on the MLG sites. They'll be broadcasting them now, or they'll have them up as VODs reasonably soon. But a lot of you probably saw them. If you haven't, yeah, again, it's worth watching. Some good casting done as well. I've been a big Freak fan for a while. So, it was nice to see him, and it was cool to see, there was like heaps of commentators and stuff, man. Dandy and Jat, Joe Miller, I don't think Demand wasn't there, he wasn't there, but Joe was there, representing ESL and doing casting as well. I guess in terms of stuff to talk about Australia-wise, there's been a lot of team changes currently in Australia, so, basically all the major organizations in Australia, all the major esports organizations that had a LoL team previously, now have a LoL team again. So the team known as Carnage, who used to be together, moved to now Mindfreak, and then Carnage had no team, and Carnage just picked up a team called, formerly known as Technicity Esports, they're now Carnage as well, and Avant as well, a smaller organization, Avant TT. Picked up a team as well. So there's lots of sponsored teams now in Australia, and again the big ones are filled now again. For Fnatic Array, Carnage, Mindfreak, and crap, who's the last one? Gamecom. Now, and Sequential. Sorry, there we are. They're the 5 big teams. I remember now. Gamecom, Sequential, Frey, Mindfreak, and Carnage all now have teams, and Carnage didn't have one for a while, and Mindfreak didn't have one for a short while as well. But now they all have them again. The only 2 major organizations really missing, like Immunity is one of the big ones. If you've ever followed Counter-Strike, you've probably heard of Immunity because they had a lot of good Australian Counter-Strike players. They've got a great Counter-Strike team. Or they used to. I don't know how good it is now. And I don't really follow the Counter-Strike scene, so I couldn't tell you, but I certainly know of the reputation of their CS team. And Immunity were pretty well known if you followed CS at all. They don't have a LoL team, sadly. I don't think they're ever planning on having one. And I believe another well-known organization, Fox MNO, are looking for a team as well. So League of Legends in Australia is getting pretty massive. I was talking about it tonight on my show Face Check, which if you want to check that out as well, that's at 8 PM every Monday night. The time's been really shaky at the moment just because it's really hard to organize. It seems to be really hard to organize stuff when my weekends are busy, and they're almost always busy. If there's not a tournament on, I'm usually working. And this weekend I was actually just relaxing, although I had a pretty busy weekend anyway. So I have to kind of organize everything for Monday on Monday, and if you're a gamer at all, you realize that people don't wake up or don't get online till about 6 o'clock, which sucks because it's hard to organize stuff when people aren't around or available, and I gotta work on communicating with people a bit better, but I'll try and organize the show a bit more. But if you want to see the archive as well, I talked about GameStar in my last vlog, you can go there as well, GameStar.com, and all the FaceCheck shows are archived there as well. Hoping what I have in the oven isn't burning, just as a thing, so I might try and wrap this up. But yeah, that's good to talk about it tonight, how there used to be pretty much 3 big Australian teams. Actually, Gamecom didn't even exist. It was pretty much Sequential, Fnatic Array, and Mindfreak were the 3 big teams. And that was it. That was the only good teams in Australia. And now, obviously, Carnage and Carnage have a very strong team. They had before, and now they do again. Actually, the old Carnage is now Mind Freak, and Carnage's new team looked great as well. There was Technicity, who have had an incredible run at recent events as well, and obviously Gamecom now have a team as well, another pretty big sponsor. They have their own LoL team, so that's 5 professional teams, and then below that there's just a ton of really strong amateur teams. Fragtech Esports are really, really good. Avant TT, who now have a new team, should be a good sponsor. Reborn are really good. Monkey and Tree Friends, who don't have a sponsor yet, sadly, they're really good. If you're listening and you're a sponsor, definitely look at picking them up. They're a great team. And I'm trying to think of one other team. Another like 10 teams. One other strong team. Can I even think of it? Another one? That'll be sad if I can't. I'm sure I can. Actually, I'm gonna go check the Cyber Gamer letter and find out. I'm sure there's one more team that I could class as a strong amateur team. There's lots of teams. There's like heaps of teams other than that, and a lot of them they're getting a lot better as well. Just in general, everyone's getting a lot better. But having 5 pro teams and 5 strong amateur teams, we'll go with. Oh goodness, Cuties only aren't bad, but they're a reasonably new team. Okay, maybe I can't find another one. Sad. But there's lots of those are the 4 really strong amateur teams, and then Cuties only are kind of hovering around there. And then if you go pretty much the rest of the ladder is a lot of fairly strong teams. So there's lots of stuff going on. Actually, I gotta really check something real quick. One sec. We seem to have had a disaster, which is good. Just wanted to make sure what I was cooking wasn't burning. Apparently, it wasn't going to take nearly as long as I thought it was, so I didn't have time to finish the vlog there. But that's cool. I'll finish it up now. Yes, there's lots of good, strong Australian teams. Lots of good events to look forward to. We've had 2 tournaments in the last 2 weekends, and I'm fucking buggered. That's all I can really say. This weekend that's just passed was supposed to be my weekend off, and I ended up working Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I went out on Saturday, and I had Sunday off yesterday, which was nice. And then today, I have today off as well, but I'm back. I had to organise FaceJack, and I had a cast as well tonight. And then tomorrow I have a meeting with, we have a meeting, myself and Tony Hooper, who organises pretty much all the LoL tournaments in Australia. I think a couple of other people as well, maybe from ESGN and around. I'm meeting up with a representative from Bright Games, which would be sweet. So we're going to talk to the rep about, Australian League of Legends and where we can go. So maybe I'll point him here. It's not a bad thing. But yeah, that should be really fun. But that's still work, for me. Everything esports related I love it, but it's still work, and it's I can't say that I had to work, but then I got the cast, so I had that was fun time. Again, I love it, but you have to organize the people, make sure you've got co-casters. So even though even setting a broadcast up will probably take 5 minutes of preparation, if that. You find the teams, you find your co-caster, you set up exploit, and then you're good. But it's usually about an hour's work all up for any one game, and if you do multiple games a day, if you do a tournament especially, it's just a lot going on. In particular, I think one of the things that really struck me was, I had a reasonably busy weekend this weekend. The last 2 weekends, not only was I working, but there was a tournament both weekends. So we had the M-Wave tournament, and before that we had the ESGN Gaming Jerseys tournament, and I did a ton of coverage. I probably did 20 hours at least worth of broadcasting, and then a bunch more prep on top of that. Although, to be fair, those hours include I don't have that many VODs. I've got it'll be close. I probably have 16 hours worth of VODs that I did, but which are all on GameStar as well, if you want to go check them out. But yeah, even though I had a ton of technical issues on for the M-Wave tournament, I was still there trying to get streams up, trying to do what I can, trying to make VODs when my stream wouldn't work, etc. Prayed my internet wouldn't cut out so that I could do it. And just really busy. So all my weekends have pretty much been nothing but either working or broadcasting or both. And that's both work in the end, even if I love one and I accept that the other is necessary. So yeah, I'm pretty tired. I had a not particularly exciting last week. I've been mainly working and trying to organize stuff for the meeting on Tuesday, etc. We're playing a little bit more League of Legends, which is good, but not too much. If I find a team to play in, I'll play more. But yeah, who knows? I'm not sure at this point. I'm really busy, and leading up to ESGN Winter in July, it's going to be insane. I'm actually moving house that week. Actually, I'll recap this week a little bit. So, ESGN Winter is on the 14th and 15th of July. It's Saturday and Sunday. On the Sunday a week before, so on the 8th of July, I think it is, I have a farewell for my sister who's going away to France for 6 months on exchange. On Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I'm moving house. Thursday, I'm going to a concert. And Friday, because my girlfriend's birthday is on Saturday, I'll be seeing my girlfriend and likely organising prep stuff for ESGN Winter as well. And I'll be running FaceCheck, doing casts, and doing whatever else I can on the other 4 or 5 days I have. And then I'll do FaceCheck again on Monday after ESGN Winter. And I'll probably do it live at the event as well. So, yeah, I'm going to be really busy in that week. And just in general, it's getting busier. But it's good. I'm happy. There's lots of exciting stuff coming up that I can't tell you yet, sadly. What I can tell you, though, is that Frenetic Array, one of the top Australian League of Legends teams, have officially been accepted. I don't know if this announcement's been official yet, but it was spoiled on FaceCheck, so I might as well spoil it now, because I assume that means once it's public on somewhere where people can go see, then it should be okay. So yeah, Frenetic Array have been invited to play in the next season of Go for LOL Pro Asia. There are some really strong teams from the Sea region and from Korea especially as well, and I think even mainland China as well. Just in general, it's a really strong tournament. Having an Australian team invited to what is an international event, even though it's based in the region that Australia is in, is really, really awesome. ESL were handling all the coverage for the last one, so I'm assuming they're going to hand it again. I'm hoping to be able to cast a couple of games, if not, even if it's just phrase games. I would like to cast some Australian games, and just in general. I've offered my services to Joe, actually, who I do have some contact with. I've actually asked him if I could cast. He said that's fine, but we had trouble getting the tournament client organised and stuff, and just in general, they're pretty busy, so it was hard to kind of squeeze me in on short notice, and it usually was on short notice as well. But yeah, hopefully I'll be casting some ESL stuff for you guys. I think for me personally, I'm still improving as a caster, so I'm trying to get to a consistent enough level where I feel comfortable approaching organisations being like, yes, you want me to cast for you, trust me. So I'm hoping ESL will be a stepping stone there, but it's a big deal. Like, ESL, a well-known organisation. The Go for LOL Pro Asia is a fairly well-known tournament. It'll have thousands of viewers on average, usually 3,000 or so on average whenever I check the streams out. And Joe's a great guy. He's great to cast with. I've cast with him once. It was really very humbling and a great eye-opening experience for me. Especially then, I was a much worse caster than I am now. And I'm still improving as well. So hopefully that goes well. I've still got to get in touch with the ESL guys. But hey, if you're listening, hello! I'd love to cast for you guys for the Go for LOL Pro Asia. The time zone work out pretty well as well for me. It's about middle of the day in Germany, usually about midday, but it's usually 7 PM here, which is fine. Yeah, other than that, there is more news coming for Australia. Like, I can promise you, there's stuff that I can't mention yet that isn't public, sadly. But there is a few exciting things in the works for Australia. But leading up till then, we've got a CG ladder still running, which is great because it always provides us games to cast. M-Wave is running as well, and Winter will be running. ESGN Winter will be on the 14th and 15th as well. And I believe the second season of the ESGN League as well also starts up. I think in a few weeks. I actually don't know the exact date. I need to know that because I'll be doing even more casting. So it's actually funny. I mean, like, this is technically the off period because there isn't a second consistent league running. The CG League runs all the time, so there's always games. When the ESGN online league comes back again for the next season, then we'll have even more casts, and there are best of threes as well. So it's going to be a few more hours every night of broadcasting, which is fantastic. It's what I want to do. It's what I love. I don't know. It's actually a longer vlog than it probably was intended to be, but that's okay. I'm in a talking mood, and if you guys want to listen, that's cool. In terms of other stuff from me, project-wise, I have been working on a particular project for a very long time, but I literally don't have the technical capabilities yet. It's for League of Legends, and the client itself or even outside the client, doesn't really have the necessary ability yet for me to be able to do what I want to do. So that's coming eventually. I'll announce it when I finish it, but I want to try and make the level on that in terms of production as good as possible. So, like FaceCheck was something that I kind of threw together, and it's kind of working okay, but I don't have time to fully commit and organize it every single week as much as I'd like, and I don't have time to polish the show as much as I'd like. So I'm still working on improving that, but I literally don't have time, unfortunately. So I'm gonna keep trying to do it because I think it's a good thing. I think, but it definitely needs something else to help in terms of increasing the audience and just polishing the show. It's actually surprisingly hard to get a bunch of people together and make them talk. And as you know, I'm pretty much the host of the show, so I just, whenever I'm not 100% on, it falls apart, and that's bad, and it needs to not fall apart. And just the format could probably be better and stuff like that. But again, these are all things I need to work on that I don't have time to sit and think through right now. But I'm gonna try, and I'll keep running the show. We're almost through 10 episodes now, which is pretty cool. Like, I think it's 10 episodes in 12 weeks, which is, you know, a lot of work. But it's good. It's nice to have something to look forward to every Monday, even if it's kind of a pain to organize at the moment. But we'll get there. What else can I talk about? I had something else that I wanted to talk about, and I can't remember what it was. Let me think. I definitely had something else to talk about. I could talk about like the league meta if you really want, but I don't know if that's interesting to anyone. Oh, actually I have something to bring up. I might be doing some writing for places I can't name yet. I'm trying to finish my first article. This is a sample to see if the people want it or not. If you guys like strategy articles, then you should check it out. I think there's not enough writing in the internet world at all, actually. And I certainly have a background as a strong writer. I actually still want to write novels. I was originally going to be a journalist. I just love writing, and I have a strong background in writing as well, which helps with broadcasting because I tend to know how to word things reasonably well. And I think honestly the written media is just lost completely. People don't take the time to really read detailed things, even if they're really straightforward and they're really easy to follow and they illustrate a point really well. Not enough people write stuff, so I'm gonna hopefully be starting to write some articles. Even if no one wants to publish them, I'll publish them myself, so you'll be able to read them. But it's just a matter of time. I have to sit down and hammer out an article, and I'm pretty hard in terms of self-editing and stuff, especially if it's for something like League of Legends where I'm writing a strategy article and I want the point to be as clear and as complex as possible. So it needs to be straightforward, but I need to provide enough detail because there's no point to me otherwise. I could write, like a really short blog piece or something, but I'm doing vlogs. Vlogs is like much more accessible in that terms of content, and I think writing breaks things down in a way that it's really hard to do, especially given that there's no real way of analyzing League of Legends gameplay because the replay function just isn't there yet, and we just don't have the ability to go through and break down stuff on video in that kind of format. And writing, I think, is actually much more accessible for the most part, and you can get a lot more said in a 1,000-word column than you can in an hour of video. It's just you have so much freedom as a writer to how you expand and compress your content. So they're going to be pretty in-depth, the articles in general. They're all going to be League of Legends related. They're all going to be, they're mostly going to be strategy related. Every now and then I'll mix it up and I'll write something like maybe semi-anecdotal or more generalized as well. And even just like, story time and stuff like that, just to mix it up a bit. But for the most part, it'll be fairly in-depth analysis of League of Legends. It'll mainly be general stuff unless people really want specific... specifics, like how do I AP mid, as an example, or something really specific in AP in that thing, because it's just hard to explain stuff. It's really hard to explain specifics. Again, that's kind of where video content would be better. If say I'm trying to explain how positioning works in AP as an AP player, especially if it's a specific matchup, it's really hard for me to illustrate something like that without actually having the two champions side by side and be like, okay, this one does this and this one does this. This is why it's bad. But you can expect that kind of breakdown. That, again, in my writing anyway, That's the plan anyway. So it'll be a lot of like theory and stuff as well, just stuff to kind of elevate the content people have for League of Legends, because it's clearly a very popular game, and I think it's still young. This is actually a point made to me today. I was watching MLG with everyone in Lola chat, and we were talking about the casters actually, and I love all the low casters, I really do. And as a low caster myself, you know, I look to them and I see what they're doing that I'm not doing, that I can improve on. And I even see stuff that they're not doing that I see other casters doing, because of course I draw influence from, you know, StarCraft casters, for example. I'm a big Testosis fan. I fucking love Day9. Like I really love all those guys. And even like I followed the fighting game community as well, and they have some great people as well working behind them. And I wouldn't be into most of those things. Like I wouldn't care at all about the competitive fighting game scene if the casters weren't as good as they are. And they're really good. Like, trust me, turn on a Team Spooky stream and just watch. You'll probably be impressed, even if you have no idea how like competitive Street Fighter 4 works. Just as an example. And you know, like that really makes an esport for me. And the game is so young. Like the game is only 2 years old, really. Especially at a high competitive level. Like the first competitive event was WCG 2010, and I guess the first well-known competitive broadcast for that was the North American final for WCG 2010, which was Epic vs CLG. Awesome series of games, by the way. Go watch them. They're on YouTube somewhere, I'm pretty sure. But that was Freak and DJ Wheat casting, which was awesome. Freak. Like, no offense to DJ Wheat, I love the guy. He's fantastic. But Freak literally casted 90% of both games they played. And yeah, he was just so excited. He talked at 1,000,000 miles an hour, even faster than he does now. He's actually slowed down quite a bit, which is fairly funny when you think about it. But yeah, when your first major competitive broadcast first major showcase of competitive teams ever was basically, because the way the North American WCG finals worked, they had a giant online qualifier, like a massive one. A bunch of people made teams, and the best teams, the two best teams at the time, easily rode to the top. I think Aeon was the only well-known team that didn't make it, and I don't know what Reginald's team placed at that time. Although, to be fair, Dan was on that team as well, and he was on Epic at that time, so I actually don't know what happened to Reggie. But I'm sure his team placed fairly high, but they didn't make the final. And yeah, that's just one of those broadcasts that happened. And that was like the first one. It was towards the end of 2010. It's actually the time I got into League of Legends as well. I saw that broadcast. My friend told me about the game, and I got into it from there. Yeah, especially seeing Freak as well, because I knew him from a previous website called WCReplays.com. Freak's an awesome guy. He actually got me into commentating as well. I first heard him commentate Warcraft 3 replay. He was an audio commentator for WCReplays.com, which is actually a role I got at some point later, which is funny. We kind of crossed paths, but not really. You may remember me, but I had a different idea then anyway. I wasn't pastry time. Yeah. That was a long tangent. But yeah, I mean, the game is only 2 years old, and everyone, the players, the casters, the organisers, etc., we have a lot to learn. And the game's growing at such a rate as well that it's really hard for us to pinpoint exactly what we should be doing and where we should be going. But the Australian scene is getting bigger, and that's good for Australian esports on the whole. It's good for League of Legends, of course, as well. Good for me, because I'm Australian. I love League of Legends, and that's what I cast. So yeah, and it's just a lot to work on, essentially. And I can't remember where I was really going with this, but the game is basically the TLDR is this last tangent, which has been significantly longer than all the other ones, I feel, is yeah, it's pretty crazy. No. It's yeah, the game is still young, and everyone has a lot to learn, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I can't actually remember what I was trying to talk about, which sucks. Anyway, maybe I'll go back and watch it and be like, damn it! That's what I wanted to say. Anyway, this has turned into more of story time. It's probably about 20 minutes long at this point. I actually don't have a timer, and I haven't been paying attention to my clock, so I don't know what time it is. But hopefully, sorry if this is a bit of a long one. Kind of went off on a tangent, but yeah, pretty much look for more content from me. I'll post updates and stuff in future vlogs when I have more stuff that you can go see. But just for now, stick with esgen.com.au, gamestar.com, and I'll be there most of the time. Oh, FaceCheck as well, if you want to check that out. You can see the VODs at GameStar, or the streams, again, 8 PM Monday, AEDT, Australian Eastern Daylight Time, at 8 p.m. Monday at twitch.tv/LOLfacecheck. I don't know if I mentioned that in the last vlog, but yeah, you can catch me there for the most part. And yeah, I'll give updates for the writing and stuff. And when I can announce other exciting stuff, I'll let you know. Next Sunday's vlog, I might even do one after, because vlogging's kind of fun. Next Sunday, or maybe tomorrow night, depending on how I feel, if I want to do a bonus one, I'll be talking about the meeting we had with Ryan, how that went, and whatever other exciting news I can bring you as well. Okay, cool. Peace, time out, guys. Have a good one.